Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of "'Tis the Dance Season," a DanceVibes podcast. And today we are here with
Ian. Hi, everybody. My name is Ian from Seattle, Washington. Dance studio owner, teacher, choreographer. I travel all over the U.S. and internationally to choreograph and teach. I work for dance competitions as a judge and a director, and then I have my hands in lots of other little projects here and there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So to start us off, you've obviously been in the dance world for a very long time. So what moment really pushed you to co-found Pac West, which is your dance studio, and how has Pac West really changed since then?
The really cool thing about Pac West is that it was actually a studio that had already been founded by some other people, and I just happened to be able to teach there for a while. And then during the dance competition, the studio owner was like, "Hey, have you thought about owning a dance studio?" And I was like, "No, but hey, let's talk about it." And it was almost 8 years ago. So owned it for 8 years, but it's going into its 22nd year of existence total. So I'm just happy to be able to keep a space alive for more dancers to learn and continue to grow.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what's one misconception that you think dancers or parents have about like how dance studios actually work? Because obviously, right, like parents and like dancers see one thing, but in reality, like maybe like more work is like happening behind the scenes. Like, what do you think is a big like misconception about that?
Honestly, I think kind of what you just said is that there's just a lot more work that goes into everything that happens behind the scenes. So that hopefully the parents and the dancers don't have to worry about it. So, making sure that schedules align with not just teachers, but with students and what they might want, looking back on things that were, that we tried maybe years previous that might work now. So I think there's just a lot of behind the scenes, all admins, studio managers, studio directors that just go into making sure that your experience, walking through the doors is very seamless from, just friendly greeting to your class being amazing with whatever teachers you have to, the end result either being getting up on stage for competition or, if it's just cycling. So I think just remembering that there is just so much work that goes into the back end that we don't want you to see.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Like, we don't want you to see like how much actually does go on to get something out there. Yeah.
Yep.
And so I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about Axia, which I believe is your new project that you've been working on.
Yeah, so Axia is kind of just, it's a culmination of everything you already know about me. Just trying to put it under bigger word. So Axia is it's Axia choreography, studio lab, and workshops, which is kind of just the, choreography is all Vegas choreography that I normally do, but just trying to put it under bigger name, better structure, that type of deal. Same thing with my workshops, film my guest teaching, and also studio lab is probably the newest thing that I'm slowly putting together, just all the experience that I've gained growing up in the industry and working and other people that I've worked with. And I want to start to be the classes for not just students, but teachers and studio owners, and brainstorming sessions, and just tips and tricks and tools that I found that have worked for me, and hopefully be able to help other people, in the process of this industry that we're in, because we never stop growing as dancers, but then trying to find different ways to be diverse and collaborate sometimes is hard. So hopefully opening up a space for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just like a big like creative collective like in the area. That's awesome.
Yeah, very much so.
So also, since you've also been very active in teaching dance as well, what really inspired you to start teaching and just like keep doing it, right? Because for some people, like they want to get into teaching, but maybe they like quit early or they just like kind of like struggle to like keep going. So what really motivated you to like start and also keep teaching?
Honestly, I just knew from a young age that I wanted to teach. Like I started dancing when I was 5, and probably by the time that I was 10 or 11, I just kind of knew. And then like something I wanted to do. I loved performing. I still love performing, but I don't know, something just about teaching the idea of teaching and being able to share that with people, kind of behind the scenes to be able to get them to the point where it's or, inspire them to do something just within industry. And then I don't know, it's kept me going, honestly. It's just been something that feels right. It's something that feels like it's, something that I can still offer, either be dance lessons or connections, networking, and, talking to other people who have experiences that I've had doing that. So, however, I can still be a part of that industry and help further other people. It's definitely, I think, the biggest thing that keeps me going.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also, you're also very active in like the choreography space. So this is kind of like a niche question, but what would you say is like your biggest choreographer pet peeve? Because I've heard different things from like different choreographers. So
I think my biggest choreographer pet peeve are one of the biggest, I think, would be dancers that are receptive and are open to trying things. I think that if you want to survive in this industry, you want to get a career, especially for my younger dancers, because sometimes, we have opinions about things, is just being open to trying things, being open to dancing to music that maybe you haven't been exposed to, trying a different style, trying a different quality. So I think just an openness to trying something new and the resistance to that can be a very, very quick no-go, depending.
yeah, I think that's something definitely like a lot of especially like teen dancers need to hear, because like maybe like if you are comfortable in like one style and you're not comfortable with like another style, it's still okay to like, and especially important to like try like new things and like try new styles and be like very receptive to feedback. So I think that's very important.
110%. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things. Is just being receptive and open in general. We're all going to excel at something for sure, but it's not. When they say you have to be a well-rounded dancer, and I would say almost a well-rounded performer at this point, so making this industry, they're not lying. You can pick up different things. You can be able to work with different people. And if you've never done it, you need to be able to pick it up and think it really quickly.
Yeah, that's super important. And so something that especially like a lot of like younger dancers or like teens here is, like dance isn't a real career. So like what's your response to that, given that you've done like so many different things just like in like under the umbrella of dance alone?
I think that it is a real career. I have a strong dislike when people are like, oh, this is your hobby, what's going to be your real job or something like that. This is my real job. I started teaching my own classes at 16. I had my first, I was hired to my first cruise ship when I was 18, and I've been working ever since. That be through teaching, performance, choreography, guest teaching, directing shows, choreographing shows. Like there's so many different outlets to dance. Like when we think of dance, we're thinking of like backup dancer or going to Broadway, dancing on cruise ships, but there are so many things within the art field that include dance. Learning how to run shows, direct shows, light shows, sound design, camera, photography, all of those things too are just as valuable and just as important to a dancer's career to know how to do those things, even if you don't end up doing them yourself, but knowing, how you dance and look on stage is going to look different than when you're in a music video. How you take pictures in dance studio setting for like recital photos is going to look much different than when you're on stage. It's going to look different when you're outside doing a commercial shoot, that type of stuff. So there is a career. It may not always look like dancing on the stage or dancing behind an artist, but dance is a real career. Dance is something that's viable for everyone. You just have to be ready to work.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a big thing. Like people don't realize that just like within dance, like there are really so many like jobs, and like and if it's like a money thing, like there is like good money in those jobs, and I feel like people just like don't like know that.
Exactly, and it's also understanding that you're not going to get that big job right away. Like I was very lucky that my very first professional job was working cruise ships, and I did that for 7.5 years. But I was also auditioning for the company forums of, I wasn't 18 when I started auditioning for them. I started auditioning for them when I was like 14, 15. So they saw me each year, what I needed to work on, what I needed to do. So, again, it's unfortunately, it's not the instant gratification you see on Instagram, TikTok, and everything. Like, that's amazing if you can start your career that way, but that's very rare. A lot of us will take years upon years of just auditioning, told no, getting told you need to work on this, and expanding your knowledge, and then hopefully getting that job. It's just a snowball effect. So,
yeah, I think that's great advice. And also, so for those teens and like younger dancers who do like know that they want to like do dance professionally, like what do you think that they can like easily start doing now to like get ready for like like all the auditions and like the resumes and like headshots and like all the things like to go pro?
Oh my gosh, take all of their classes that you can. Listen to all of their teachers, even if they're the ones that you don't really vibe with. Like, you can learn something from everyone. Depending on what route you want to do, go to your conventions. Don't solely focus on conventions, but like go to your conventions, make connections that way. Go to local auditions, talk to maybe some alumni from your studio that have, they graduated and gone on to do things. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think. Like, if you're a junior, senior dancer, there's some competitions out there that during their nationals they have events that are specifically geared towards getting in front of schools, keeping in front of different companies, cruise lines, agencies. There are a lot of programs out there that are specific to turning 14, 15 and up, going and dancing, getting connected, doing show music videos, having choreographers come in and work with you on a weekly basis. So there's a lot of options out there. It just kind of depends on what you want to do and how motivated you are, honestly, because it's not easy. It is not an easy lifestyle to start. It's not an easy lifestyle to get into. But once you have your foot in the door, it's just, getting your foot in the door and just continue to make those connections.
Yeah, I think that's definitely very good advice. Just like always be open to opportunities, because also I feel like especially with social media, like honestly, like whenever you open Instagram, like you're going to see like a post from like a convention about a casting agent that's coming, or just about like any like open casting call. So I feel like also that's definitely like a big thing too, just like being open to opportunities and obviously just looking for them.
Yes, yeah, and the more that you can be to actually look at them and pursue them yourself, the better your chances are of getting something. Because if you're just hoping to open Instagram or TikTok one day, see this contest or whatever going on, like you and how many other hundreds of thousands of people are looking at the same thing. So be the person that's actually reaching out and being the loud person, being the person that's constantly pushing, constantly asking. And if you do it in a polite, respectful way, and then, you prove yourself to be this hardworking, ethical world dancer, you will get jobs so quick.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that's also like something also important to touch on, that like it's not just a matter of like how good of a dancer you are. It's also definitely like very like I don't know if like personality is the right word, but just like, like work ethic, like humbleness, just like little like personality traits like that also definitely like do play a part.
Oh yeah, very much so. I mean, I've hired dancers and work with dancers. I always tell my dancers, especially like when I'm guest teaching or if I'm doing like mock auditions or trying to find projects, it's like, you can have the best technique in the world. I could say 8 pirouettes and you're able to pull out 10. But if you're not punctual, if you don't show up on time, if you don't show up knowing your choreography, you don't come to rehearsal with a good attitude. Again, like be flexible with how you do things and everything. Like if I ask, like, hey, help with this, what's your opinion on this? By all means, help me with that. But if I'm like, this is what it needs to be, blah, 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 changing things. Or if you're not getting along with other dancers, and, you might be really respectful to me, but you're not rehearsing well with other dancers, you're not dancing well with other dancers. Those are all things that choreographers, talent agents, everybody takes into consideration. And I would rather work with the dancer yeah, shows up, good attitude, works hard, knows their stuff, is thankful and humble for the opportunity to work. I'll work with them any day. To do in my head what I want. I would rather have created a piece, created something for those dancers that want to work and be there than the ones that are, what's the word? Pretentious, I guess would be, that thinks they're better than what they've been given. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely like very important. So as we're kind of closing off this interview, where can dancers find you, follow your work, take a class, like, I don't know, just like give us like all the socials, I guess.
It's really easy. Ian Howe, my name. IANHOWE, dancer, DANCR, all one word. That's my website. That's my Facebook. That's my TikTok. That's my Instagram. That's how you can find my choreography on YouTube. Just Ian Howe Dancer or Ian Howe Choreography. Yeah, I'm always popping up somewhere. So if you're out here in Washington State, where I'm located, just kind of follow, especially my Instagram. I'll kind of see where I'll be posting, where I'm teaching and all that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you again, Ian, for this interview. I think a lot of dancers definitely got some value out of it and just learned like more things that they can definitely just take into their regular classes.